Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Fox Sports.
The Rays have been picture perfect at the Trop over the last 6 games, winning in a variety of ways, moving 12 games over 500, their high water mark for the season. Today, big game James goes to the hill in search of win number 12, while the Mariners counter with rookie flamethrower Michael Pineda. The Rays go for the sweep on Sun Sports. Welcome to Rays Sunday Baseball, brought to you all season by Hyundai. Youngsters gathering at Tropicana Field. It's another Kids Sunday. This will be the third and final game of the series between the Rays and the Seattle Mariners. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Todd Callis. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. We'll be hearing from Angela Jacobs throughout the afternoon as well. Rays winning the first 2 games of this series. Last night, a combination shutout. So they got great pitching and very good hitting. And recently, that means Evan Longoria and his RBI bat. It was in full force last night.
Yeah, when Evan Longoria was sitting 63 games into the year with just a dozen runs batted in, you thought, all right, this guy's going to have to struggle to reach 70, 75 runs batted in. Well, he's already reached 70, and as you can see over the last 60 games since that 63rd game of the year, he leads the major leagues in RBIs with 59 of them. Longoria now leads the team for the first time all year in runs batted in with those 4 RBIs in last night's game. He's got a chance for 100 now all of a sudden.
You know, the pitching with these 2 ball clubs, the Rays and the Mariners. Mariners have had a tough year, but they're among the league leaders. They're 6th in team ERA, and the Rays in this race, because of their starting pitching, they're 4th overall in team ERA. And James Shields will go to the mound against Michael Pineda, another very good pitching matchup.
Yeah, Shields, instead of being 11-10, should really be about 15-6 when you look at his numbers on the year. 2-1 with that 1.48 ERA over his last 3 starts, including 2 more complete games. Now up to 9 on the year, 4 shutouts. Shields loves pitching at home. He did not pitch well against Seattle his one time up at their place at Safeco Field. He'd like to turn that around against a very different looking lineup. Michael Pineda is his opponent tonight, and this is a young guy the Rays saw on the last trip to the Emerald City, and he only allowed 1 hit in 6 innings. His season high and his career high, 10 strikeouts, hard thrower, fastball slider, and a kid that is a serious candidate for Rookie of the Year along with the Rays' own Jeremy Hellickson.
So we should see more of what we see almost every day, good pitching if you're in a game involving the Rays, and Pineda has been very good, although he has struggled recently since the All-Star break. The Coventry pitching matchup. James Shields looking for win number 12. Pineda in with a record of 9-7. Rays and the Mariners on this Kids Sunday. A lot going on here, particularly for the young crowd. We'll have more on that when we come right back.
Hold them one more time.
David Price and his dog Astro, who will be in-house to treat fans today. Can his teammates, led by James Shields, complete the sweep against Seattle? The Rays have now won 6 straight. Here are the action figures that fans are getting today. As we think about our favorite cartoon characters, we asked some of the Rays who they grew up liking.
Used to be Bobby's World. Used to come down, at the beginning on the stairs and ride his little tricycle down. Yeah, so I'd wake up every Saturday morning to watch Bobby's World.
My favorite Saturday morning cartoon, shoot, I forgot the name. Let's see. My favorite Saturday morning cartoon is Recess.
When I was a kid, it was with Tigger and Honey. God, I can't think of the name of the show now. Winnie the Pooh. There it is. Yeah, when I was a kid, Winnie the Pooh had me. I loved Tom and Jerry when I was little.
All the memories. The Rays looking for their 2nd series win and their 7th straight win at home. Dwayne Stats and Todd Callis are up next. Get ready for baseball here at Tropicana Field in high definition on Sun Sports next.
Auto Way is part of Auto Nation, the largest automotive retailer in the country. So we can do big things. By AT&T. By Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at MBUSA.com. And by Coventry Healthcare of Florida, lighting the way to better health. At Tropicana Field, it will be the Rays and the Mariners again this afternoon. Meeting for the final time during the regular season. The Rays have won 5 and dropped 4 to Seattle so far. Eric Wedge puts his lineup together this way. Ichiro Suzuki leads it off, followed by Franklin Gutierrez and then Dustin Ackley. Mike Karp carries his 19-game hitting streak into the game, hitting in front of Casper Wells and Adam Kennedy. Willie Malpena is the DH. Kyle Seager is short. The veteran catcher is Josh Bard, batting 9th.
And they will face the Rays All-Star, James Shields, most consistent starter on the year for the Rays. This will be his 26th start of the season and carries that 6th best ERA in the league into the game.
First pitch to Ichiro, chopped to the right side and moving to his left. Zobrist makes a nice pickup, turn and throw. So Ichiro is out of there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Here's the Rays defense. Desmond Jennings is in left field. B.J. Upton in center. Matt Joyce in right. Evan Longoria third. Reed Brignac his second start since coming back from Durham. Ben Zobrist and Casey Kochman on the right side. John Jaso behind the plate for James Shields. The defense brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket, home of the Sweet Spot.
Franklin Gutierrez, the center fielder, stepping in now. Shortens on the bat, takes the pitch down. A ball and no strikes. Gutierrez was 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 4 the first game. And that pitch pretty close right there. 2-0. Bouncing ball foul. That takes it to 2-1. Shields, as you mentioned, Todd, in his outing earlier this year against the Mariners up in Seattle, one of his extremely infrequent off days. And the Mariners got to him for 8 runs in 4 innings. There's a line drive and a base hit into left. Gutierrez picks up his first hit of the series off a 2-1 fastball.
Gutierrez has struggled this year against the Rays. That was just his 3rd hit of the season. And now 29 at bats, but Shields behind in the count had to come in with a fastball. Gutierrez saw it well on the inner half of the plate and stroked it into left field.
1 on, 1 out for Dustin Ackley. Ackley back in the lineup in the game last night, doubled his first time up in the first inning against Hellickson. Shields keeping a close eye on the base runner, Franklin Gutierrez, who is 11 of 13 in the steal department, and you know how difficult Shields has been to run on. And another quick move thrown into the dirt and blocked by Kochman. It's just another reason that Kochman is so valuable over there, to give pitchers. Kochman's like a secondary catcher. You know, a pitcher's got to have confidence in his catcher to throw that pitch with a man at third, throw it in the dirt, knowing that his catcher's going to block it. Same thing if you got a good quick pickoff move and you're trying to get a guy at first. Kochman will stay in front of that pickoff move, that throw over there. 1-0 the count to Ackley.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Shields is having these incredible pickoff numbers with Kochman there. I think you've got to give Kochman credit for at least 2 or 3 of those with how quick he is with that tag.
10 pickoffs for Shields coming into the game today, and he has Ackley way out in front on the changeup. The count is 1-1. Ackley was sold on that one.
Shields knows this is a guy who hasn't faced him. In fact, a lot of these guys in the lineup. Only 3 guys in the lineup today that were in the lineup when Shields got hit around in that game in Seattle.
A little roller toward third. Longoria scoops. Tough play. Quick throw. Not going to be in time. Kochman off the bag. The call by the first base umpire, Mike Lucinski. Kochman thought he might have stuck around long enough. He tried to sell it. Gutierrez safely in at second, and Ackley has an infield hit at first.
Every once in a while this year, Casey Kochman has been able to get away with leaving the bag early. This ball was just cued off the end of the bat as he was well in front of a changeup, and you can see Kochman tries to get away with leaving the bag a step early, and he gets called for it. That's it's a good call. It was a close play. Kochman, had he stayed on the bag, may have picked up the out.
2 men on with 1 out. Here's Mike Karp, and he takes a pitch in there for a strike. Karp hitting .327. He's really making a bid for a full-time spot in this lineup with an eye toward next year. Now a pickoff play at second. Nobody there. Upton will make the pickup out there in center field. A turn by Shields and a good pickoff move at second base, but there was no one there covering, and that'll be an error charged to Shields. Brignac in from shortstop to square this away with Shields.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Reed didn't miss a defensive sign there. James Shields just spun and threw like he knew Reed was going to be there. There was nobody home. So you want, I mean, Shields throws this. It's not tentative. It's we've got the play on. There's somebody covering. And then Reed Brignac's just looking like, I don't think I saw that sign.
Now 2 men in scoring position. Pitch outside. It's 1-1. So it puts Shields in a tough spot here in the first inning. Ground ball, second base. Zobrist with the throw to first. The run scores. Gutierrez crosses the plate as Karp broke his bat, drives in the run. And Seattle takes advantage of that mix-up on the part of the Rays on that attempted pickoff play.
Shows you how tough it is to throw a shutout. A ball cued off the end of the bat. Longoria tries to make the play, and Kochman, who's so good with his timing, thought he timed it up for the out, but they called him safe. Ackley, then an error, and a run scores on a little ground ball.
Now here's Wells. And he hits one deep into left field. That ball is well tagged and is out of here. A first pitch fastball, and Wells hits his 10th home run of the year. That's going to make it a 3-0 ball game. So Ackley scores in front of Wells, and just like that, it's a 3-run first for Seattle.
First time Wells facing Shields, and he is ready to ambush that fastball on the outer part of the plate. See, he gets right on top of the plate, stands very close to the plate. He takes that pitch and drives it into the seats.
Well, there's some mental and emotional anguish going on that field right now on the part of the Rays. The pitch outside to Adam Kennedy, 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch is down 2-0. The missed pickoff attempt. So it went from possibly having 2 outs and a man at first to getting a ground ball to get out of the inning. Now it's a 3-run inning. 2-1, and Brignac not feeling too good about what's happened out there, and Shields not feeling too good about it either. And the battle is to zero in on your concentration. The Rays have paid for this little lapse.
This is a team, Seattle, that's already scored more runs in this inning than they had the previous 2 games combined. Shields struggled against them earlier this year, different lineup.
The pitch is foul, out of play. Yeah, they've scored 3 runs here in the first. They're averaging, coming into this series, just right at 3.4 runs a game. They have 3 in the first. And down a bit. Fastball missed, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. That pitch was close. Let's see how close. Ground ball right side. Kochman tossed to Shields, who steps on the bag, and that retires the side. 3-run score. We go to the bottom of the first. The Rays down by 3. Brady over there trying to square things away, and you have to believe that that this missed pickoff attempt ultimately led to the home run as Shields tried to battle his way through a very emotional situation, and Wells winds up hitting a home run. And because of that home run, all 3 of those runs are earned. So the Rays find themselves in a 3-run hole as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Michael Pineda on the hill, the impressive young right-hander.
24th start of the year.
And here's Desmond Jennings. He takes the pitch for a strike.
His one real good start since the All-Star break came against the Rays.
Strike 2. 2 quick strikes to Jennings. He's 9-7 on the year. Things have been difficult since the All-Star break, with the exception of the start, as you mentioned, Todd, that he made against the Rays. And there's a strike call. He makes quick work of the Rays leadoff hitter. Jennings leads it off, followed by Damon, and then Longoria, Zobrist, Kochman, and Upton. Then Joyce, Jaso, and Brignac for the Rays. Well, the upside of being down by 3 is that you're down early. So you've got all afternoon to try to figure out Pineda. Pitch is foul. Pineda, good size at 6'7", 260 pounds, out of the Dominican Republic. And Damon is out in front, 0-2.
He threw Johnny Damon all fastballs when they saw him up in Seattle, and he started him off with a fastball here, and then Johnny saw that changeup for the first time, and it was no chance.
Yeah, and that's a pitch that he does have. Obviously, we just saw it, but he doesn't throw it a lot. Throws it a little more to left-handed hitters, but he doesn't load up even the left-handed hitters with that pitch. He's mostly fastball, slider. 1-2. A bouncer foul up the right side. Damon will get a new bat.
We were talking about earlier in the inning, when you miss a sign, whether it's as a hitter, as a runner, or as a fielder, it happens during the course of the game. You'd like to minimize the times it happens. Sometimes it hurts you, and sometimes you get away with it. That was the case where the Rays were hurt by it.
The 1-2. And around his feet. The count is 2-2. Well, the challenge is to emotionally work your way through that. It really comes down to emotional intelligence. And it has to do with just battling your way through what was a very frustrating situation. Suddenly Shields found himself in a bad spot.
You can see him say, wow, he's still thinking, he's still steamed. I mean, you got a ball cued off the end of the bat, you end up with an infield hit.
And Damon lifts it toward the line and left. That's going to be foul. Yeah, and the point is, you've got to get beyond that. You've got a whole afternoon of baseball to play, and you cannot allow that to dominate your day. You just can't do it. And that's one of the advantages that this team, it's a young team, and you know, the younger you are, it's difficult to get through those spots. But this is one area where this team has to be good if they're going to catch the Yankees and the Red Sox. Damon lines it right at Karp, and that will be out number 2.
Take a look at the Seattle defense today. Casper Wells out in left field for the first time in this series. Franklin Goodyear is in center, Ichiro in right. Those two have gold gloves. Adam Kennedy back at third. Kyle Seager, the shortstop. And the double play combination, North Carolina Tar Heels. Dustin Ackley at second, Mike Karp at first. Josh Bard behind the plate for Michael Pineda. The Mariners defense brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket, home of the Sweet Spot.
There's Evan Longoria. The pitch is a strike. The basic bottom line is they're facing Pineda. Sure, he's been great, but his earned run average in July was 675, and so far in August it's been 655. So this is a game, you hold this club to 3 runs, you got a chance to maybe score some runs against this guy. Up and in, and down goes Longoria. That 0-2 pitch, and Pineda knocks Longoria down.
Fans don't like it, but that's where you have to pitch. Evans going to try and cheat here. 0-2. He's striding into the plate, and this isn't that far in. But when you're striding into the plate and it's heading at your coconut, then it's a little scary.
And a swing and a miss. Longoria out of there to retire the side. We go to the second. It's 3-0 Seattle.
Over the Rays, place your reservations for the 2012 season tickets. Establish your seniority today and be in line for priority upgrades and exclusive benefits. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com.
First pitch is a curveball. That's a little high. Not a lot of bite on that one. And Willie Mopena takes it for ball one. Pena, Seager, and Bard. Ground ball that's deflected off Shields, and the ball rolls toward the right side of the infield. Will be picked up by Zobrist, but no play. And let's check Shields out to make sure he's okay. Ron Porterfield out of the Rays dugout. Pena hit it right back at Shields, and it got a part of the Rays right-hander. So, been a tough start for him in a lot of ways now. He says he's okay.
Ball can really come off the bat in a hurry for Willie Mopena, as this one does. Right back at Shields. Looked like he tried to cover up that pitching arm. Not sure if it hit that arm. It's tough to tell where that hits. It's very close to his pitching arm, but he says he's fine.
Yeah, you're concerned if it hit that elbow. That's a major concern, of course, but he says he's all right. Here's Seager. Kyle Seager. Pitch to him is down. 1 ball, no strikes. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, it got his pitching arm and maybe just off the top of that meaty part of the forearm up toward the elbow. That would be a best case scenario. Pitch pretty close off the plate in. And it's 2-0.
Mark Wegner had a decent sized play for Pineda early, so you would hope establish that big plate for both sides. Better be up there swinging.
And the throw to first base rolls away from Kochman, but not far enough to give Willie Mopena any ideas.
Shields has bounced a couple of throws over there already. I think that 3-run first inning still in the back of his mind. He still hasn't found that rhythm, which we see so often when he's here at Tropicana Field.
Well, there was the error in that inning, and it was charged to Shields, despite the obvious missed sign. Seager It's a foul down the left side toward the bullpen. 2-1.
Let's see if we can see the welt on his right arm when he turns around, but it's starting to. Right there. There you go. So that's going to be something they need to put a little ice on at some point, you would think, whether it's in game or as soon as the game's over.
Yeah, that courtesy of Willie Mo Pena. You could think of other hitters, if you're going to get hit on the pitching arm, that you'd rather be hit by than Willie Mo Pena, because when he does hit the ball, he swings and misses a lot, but when he hits the ball, he hits it hard.
The ball definitely comes off his bat at over 100 miles an hour. Maybe not that comebacker, but when he launches them.
Runner at first, 2-2 the count to Seager. Ground ball, and that's going to go through into center, a base hit. Pena is going to go to third. And I tell you, this is turning out to be a frustrating start to this game, because when Seager hit that ball, Zobrist made just a slight move to his left and then couldn't get back.
Yeah, this is enough to cause this ball to become a base hit. Watch Ben, that little hop to his left, and now all his momentum's going that way, and the ball's the other way. So that hop towards first base gave him 2 strides to get to the baseball and too far for that base hit.
Yeah, he's really playing the pitch and anticipating what might happen as a result of that. Try to give him a little extra range, and Seager messed all that up. First and third now. Here's Bard. Pitch inside, nobody out.
As a middle infielder, you can see pitch and pitch location. On the corners, third and first, you can't always see it with the catcher sign. So Ben Zobrist saw that pitch, saw a pitch that might be pulled, shifted over 1 hop going to first base, and then ended up costing him as the ball went towards second base and into center field.
Yeah, so far this is one of those games where the Rays would say, could we just start this thing over?
Exactly.
Ground ball right side. Zobrist with a pickup throw to first in time. The run is going to score. And a stretch by Kochman to get the out. That was not an easy out. Bard will get a run batted in to make it a 4-0 ball game. Bard drives in his 7th run.
And even on that ball, that's not a hard hit ground ball, but it's in the perfect spot where Casey Kochman thinks he can make a play. Then he has to hustle to get back to the bag, and Ben Zobrist has to range deep to his left. Again, the Mariners are hitting the ball in spots where it's tough for the Rays defense, and it drives in a run on the ground out.
Here's Ichiro. So Seager's in scoring position. Pitch is upstairs. A fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Tap to third. Longoria is going to make the throw to first. Seager has to remain at second, and they get Ichiro. It's a big out there. 2 gone. Yeah, this has just been one of those games where right from the get-go you feel as if you're under attack and you're just trying to survive to get your footing, and then try to mount a counterattack.
Even in this inning, the ball that hits Shields, if it goes by the pitcher, Ben Zobrist was backing up, and with Pena running, he probably gets him. The next ball, we saw Zobrist shift. That finds its way to the outfield. Then you have, that ground ball that almost squeaked through for the RBI. Shields really has given up the long home run and a Gutierrez single. Those are the only legit hits.
It's a strike to Gutierrez here. He got the base hit with 1 out in the first that led to the eventual 3-run inning. Bounces it foul outside of third. 2 strikes. Rays starting the day 7.5 back in the wild card, 8 back of first place in the AL East. Gutierrez out on strikes on the changeup. So he's out on strikes. That retires the side. A run scores. They leave a man. It's 4-0 Seattle.
Half of the second inning. Today's game is available in Spanish via SAP, and Brian Anderson will be here tomorrow to tell you exactly what that is. It's brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
Well, Ben Zobrist is going to lead it off here in the bottom of the second, and there's a line drive base hit. A broken bat single into center. Zobrist makes the turn. Well, let's see if that will turn the Rays' misfortunes here into good fortune. It's been a tough start for the Rays. They're down 4-0, and Zobrist didn't waste any time. Went after the first pitch.
Off the end of the bat, broken bat. The end of the bat goes flying, and there you see Zobrist gets it up. Ben's really done a good job with some tough pitches in this series, including that broken bat base hit. As he said, Dwayne, a lot of time left for this Rays offense.
Now Casey Kochman. Casey, the third leading hitter in the American League, starting play today at .332. And the pitch is a strike. Casey with 8 home runs and 41 runs batted in. One ball, one strike. Pineda was 8-6 at the All-Star break with a 3.03 earned run average. But since the break, his earned run average has been .675.
These are uncharted innings for him. He's never been this far along this season.
There goes the runner, and the pitch is foul. Number back toward the base of the stands, and it's 1-2. He's from the get-go been in the middle of the Rookie of the Year discussions. You see the top rookie winners: Nova with 12, Hellickson with 11, and this right-hander Pineda with 9. That's our Southern Ford Dealers American League Rookie Wins Board. And there is it's going to be a foul ball. Oh my goodness. That ball, Tom Foley's not sure. He's talking it over with Mike Everett. And Everett had the great angle on it. He was looking right at it, but boy, that's as close as you can come to a ball being fair and have it be foul. Wow, that was very close.
Take another look. Third base umpire right on top of that. That was almost the Casey Kochman just reach out and go the other way. Tough to tell there. That was very close to hitting the chalk.
Pops it foul. It's out of play. Very, very close.
Not only does Tom Foley have a good angle, but from where Joe Madden and Davey Martinez watched the game, they're on a pretty good angle for that play as well. And they didn't seem to have much of an argument.
Rays could use a couple of those to get back into this thing. Down by 4. Zobrist back in at first. I'm guessing that's not his good move right there. They've been 5 stolen bases against him and 7 caught stealings with this big right-hander on the mound. Two and two.
He didn't have to work out of the stretch much, did Pineda, in that game at Safeco Field against the Rays. Zobrist had the only hit against him in that game. The Rays still managed to score a couple of runs against him with just that one hit, but he was working out of the windup almost exclusively.
Two. And he's out on strikes as that pitch bit down and in. He threw him a 2-2 slider, and it was a good one. third strikeout so far for Pineda.
See that tight rotation. Kochman just trying to stay alive with 2 strikes. Really tough pitch, just boring in on the left-hand hitter there.
Well, you very seldom see Kochman appear that awkward with a swing. Well, here's B.J. Upton. He swings and fouls a fastball right back. Strike one. B.J. with 17 home runs. He starts the day hitting .229. 1 out of 8 in this series. The 0-1 pitch. And a shot to center field. Gutierrez closes and makes the catch on it. So B.J. lines to the center fielder. A couple of pretty good swings there against Pineda. Now it will be Matt Joyce.
Pineda always has the look like he's already pitched 7 or 8 innings. It's only the second inning. Puts that cap on top of his head and pulls it back kind of sideways.
Yeah, Brian Anderson called and said that we should tell him to straighten his cap.
Oh, PA would be all over this guy.
All right, here's Joyce. There goes the runner. The pitch is down and in, and the throw is going to skip through into center field. Backed up by Ackley. That's a steal for Zobrist. 15th stolen base for Ben.
I think the Rays are going to have the same attitude they had against Felix Hernandez, that against a guy like Pineda, you can't just sit around and wait for 3 hits to bunch up, that you need to be aggressive. Quick release by Bard. You can watch him here. It was a tough pitch to handle, bounced it, and he still gets it out in a pretty good fashion, but then he bounces his throw, hits Zobrist, and just gets beyond.
Foul back. How the play it goes. A fastball, and it's 1-1.
Joyce could use a big hit here. It's been a little bit of a struggle for him lately. Rays need to get on the board, get some momentum going offensively. Matt looking to find that fastball that he can drive into right center field.
And a pickoff play at second. Back in goes Zobrist. Pineda pitching on 5 days rest since his last outing, when he gave up 5 runs on 6 hits in 5 innings against the Blue Jays. Seager, the shortstop, slipping in behind the runner and taking the peg. It's 1-2 now, and with the 5 days rest, Pineda has been at his best this year. He's 5-1 with a .293 earned run average when he has 5 days rest. He's 3-5 with a 4.5 with 4 days rest.
Prior to that, they gave him 9 days rest, so they're slowing him down a little bit in the second half.
One-two, and a shot back to the middle into center field. Here comes Zobrist. He's headed to the plate, and the Rays are on the board. Matt Joyce comes through with a solid base hit. Sent a fastball into center field. The Rays turn the leadoff single and the 2-out steal into a run with a base hit.
Or you're saying that Matt Joyce was hoping to be able to turn around a fastball. I believe this line drive goes right through the legs of Michael Pineda. Let's take a look. This is right through the box, and it's hard to tell there, but I think it went on his follow-through right through the pitcher's legs. Let's take a look. As he follows through, he turns around and, yeah, just misses his left foot, his plant foot, and into center field past the diving Kyle Seager for the Rays' first run.
So the Rays get on the board, and here's John Chaso. He takes a strike. That's an important run for the Rays after Seattle put 3 up in the first and added another run in the top of the second for the Rays to at least get on the board here early. Down and in, 1-1.
You saw Shields there. It wouldn't shock you to see Shields lock it down from here for another 5, maybe even 6 innings. He's one of those guys that can do that in the middle of a start. He gives up a couple early and then locks it down.
One and one. And that's a strike call. Jaso down 1-2. Which started away from Jaso and wound up in the strike zone.
John facing Pineda for the first time. This is a tough guy when you haven't seen him before. He was not with the team, Jaso, when the Rays faced him in Seattle.
Goes the runner. The pitch is wide, and the throw is not going to be in time. A stolen base for Joyce. It's 11 steals for Matt Joyce in 12 attempts this year.
Rays continue to be aggressive. Good pitch for Bard to throw. Got his footwork crossed up a little bit, but still threw a pretty good peg down there. I think Seager's got to make this play. Watch Kyle Seager just kind of let this ball drop out of his glove as he tried to apply the tag. Would have been a close play either way, but Seager's got to catch that throw.
2-2 now. Foul ball forcing another pitch. Into short right field, and the Rays are going to get another run. Jaso comes through with a big base hit, driving in Joyce. So the Rays forcing the issue with a couple stolen bases, and they've received big hits from Joyce and Jaso. Now it's 4-2.
This is such an interesting game already. You've got a couple of guys who steal bases with Pineda on the mound, and both times they steal bases, they put themselves in scoring position, and they're able to score on a base hit. A little bit of a delayed reaction by Karp there. Not sure if he would have been able to make the play either way, but Dwayne, this had a feel of a game early on where it looked like, can anything go right for the Rays? So by them forcing the issue and then hitting a couple of RBIs after that, now all of a sudden momentum the other way.
So the Rays make it 4-2. Jaso feeling good about coming up with a 2-out base hit to drive in a run. And Reed Brignac will now be the hitter. Look at that, 35 pitches so far for Pineda. And here's Brignac. To first. Jaso back in. Brignac's been up about a week and a half since his most recent free fall. And he puts down a bunt. Pineda with a pickup and a throw to first in time to retire the side. But the Rays put 2 on the board. We're through 2. 4-2 Seattle.
Third, whether you're looking for children's activities, restaurant deals, insider tips, and more, you'll find it all at TampaBay.com/things to do, powered by the St. Petersburg Times.
4-2 ball game now as we go to the third, and here's Dustin Ackley. First pitch is a strike. Curveball to start the left-handed hitting second baseman. One and one. Shields trying to regroup from the first couple innings of this game, and they've been a challenge down and in. 2-1, just some things not working out. But you're absolutely right, Todd. Shields could go right back out there and shut him down, but here's a base hit. Ackley leads off the third with a single. And that's not altogether surprising in the little bit we've seen Ackley. He really seems to be a battling sort of player, particularly with the bat.
Yeah, you don't see him have too many at bats where he's just overmatched. And number 3 hitter in his rookie year, just up to the big leagues this summer, getting a chance to prove that he's going to be here for a while. Just learning to play second base at the professional level. At North Carolina, he was an outfielder, first baseman, and DH.
Mike Carp. And that's a fair ball just inside the line down beyond the bullpen. Ackley's going to go to third. Carp doubles. That pitch moving in to the left-handed hitter, and Carp got it just fair to extend his hitting streak to 20, picking up his 9th double.
This guy's the hottest hitter on the Seattle roster right now. Let's see this ball down Foxmo, down the first base line, and this ball is ripped, and it does stay fair right over the bag. No chance for Casey Kochman, even though he was holding the runner. And Ackley will go first and third.
Well, here's Wells, and a changeup this time on the first pitch, and he missed it way out in front. He jumped on a fastball in the first and hit a 3-run home run. Carp with the 2-base hit. He's at second. Ackley's at third. This pitch bounds away from Jaso, but not far enough to give Ackley any thing to act on. He had an idea and came down the line a couple of steps, but put on the brakes.
Shields thinking strikeout here with second and third and nobody out, trying to throw some of his nastier changeups to a guy who hit a fastball out. And Ackley took a chance and looked down the line and then decided to retreat.
1-1 the count. Two balls and a strike.
Rays playing the infield back. Longoria at third is even with the bag, but ground ball could score a run here, so Shields is thinking, I got to maybe go for a strikeout.
Hot shot down to third. Stopped by Longoria. Still makes a throw to first, and what a pickup over there by Kochman. And a little bit of a scramble by Longoria after he made the stop on that hot shot, and that throw faded a bit, and Kochman saved the out.
Rays fans have been spoiled over the years by guys like Travis Lee and Carlos Pena, but I'm not sure if there's anybody that picks the ball as well in a Rays uniform as Casey Kochman. This looks so smooth. That little short hop is not easy, and Evan did a good job here to stay with it as Ackley had to head back to the bag, but then Evan's throw was not an easy pick. Watch Casey just make it look so easy. That is not an easy play.
Yeah, a backhand pickup at that on the short hop. Now Kennedy takes the pitch down. 1 ball and no strikes. There's the strike, and the count is 1-1. Foul ball back. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, these these guys have faced each other before, so you would think Kennedy's going to be thinking along with Shields, and if you think along with Shields and you have 2 strikes and you don't want to advance the runners thinking strikeout, he's got to be thinking changeup along with Shields, but sometimes you can think it and not get it.
Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, this turns out to be a very critical part of this game because it's been off to a very difficult start for the Rays. They made a move with a couple of runs in the bottom of the 2nd, and the Mariners right back with a major threat in the 3rd. 1 out now, and a 2-2 count to Kennedy. And a wave and a miss. He got Kennedy. He chased the fastball up. That's a very big strikeout. 2 gone.
That was an interesting sequence too, Dwayne, because Shields stepped off the rubber and then shook off Jaso 2 more times after he went back in for the sign. So he really wanted to go back to that fastball. Kennedy didn't chase the 1-2 fastball, but he does chase the 2-2 fastball. Shields probably thinking Kennedy might be thinking changeups. Let's go number 1 and try and get him.
Yeah, and you can't blame him because look at the tail that he got out of that fastball. Now it was a swing and a miss by Pena on the curveball. I mean, you talk about movement up. That pitch just ran right away from Kennedy. 1 strike to count now to Willie Mo Pena. That's foul outside of 3rd. 2 strikes. Let's take another look at that strikeout pitch to Kennedy from the center field shot. Look at that. A great running action away.
Now he can see his way out of the inning. This is another big momentum shift possibility in this game.
Yep. 2 strikes to Pena. And he got him. He struck him out. And the Rays get out of that spot. An 0-2 change, and Pena swings and misses, leaving men at 2nd and 3rd, and the Rays are still down by only 2. Jennings takes the first pitch. He's shortened on the bat. That pitch is outside, 1-0. Well, the Rays with a couple of runs in the 2nd inning, and then dodging what could have been a disastrous inning in the top of the 3rd. So now let's see what they can do in their half the 3rd against Michael Pineda, 22-year-old rookie right-hander. Desmond, a good look at that pitch, a slider moving down and away out of the zone. 2-1. Inside, now it's 3 balls and a strike. Boy, What a job by Shields after the base hit by Ackley and the double by Karp. Wells hit the ball hard, but a good stop by Longoria and a great pickup at first by Kochman for the first out. And then strikeouts, and there's a base hit off the bat of Jennings, headed toward the corner. Desmond's headed to second, and he'll make it standing with the two-base hit. So here come the Rays right back. A double by Desmond Jennings, his 7th.
Well, Desmond had been struck out by Pineda in his 3 previous at-bats, 2 the last game and then 1 today. And Pineda pitched him tough that first time. Now on our checkers double the game, you'll see Jennings get a fastball ahead of the count, and he just pulls through it. And the Mariners have so much respect for Jennings' speed, they don't even bother to cover second base when he hits a ball past third. They just give up the second bag and think, well, we just got to prevent him from going for 3.
Johnny Damon. Damon lined out to the first baseman Karp his first time. Pineda stepping back off the rubber. A first pitch strike, a fastball, pours its way into the strike zone. Well, Damon bunts at that pitch and bunts it foul. 2 strikes. Evan Longoria is on deck.
Johnny felt like he had a pitch he should have been able to get down there. It was on the plate. It was a fastball, and he was just trying to move the runner to third with less than 2 outs. And here you'll see it. A lot of velocity, so still a tough pitch to bunt because it was a little up, but Johnny feels like he's got to get that down.
And around his feet. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Rays swiped a couple bases in the second inning. Zobrist and Joyce each stealing their way into scoring position. Driven home by Joyce and Jaso. And a popper short left center. Seager out from shortstop handles it. 1 away.
In today's game and all season long, Tires Plus will donate $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Rays home run during televised Sun Sports or Fox Sports Florida games.
Well, now it's Evan Longoria. Evan struck out his first time and really thought that the call second strike put him in a bad spot. He struck out swinging. And that pitch is off the plate. A slider, and he held up in time. 1-0. Longoria had a little conversation with Mark Wegner, the plate umpire. The first inning ended pleasant enough, but just talking about pitch location and such. And the Fox track did show that that pitch appeared to be a little bit off the plate.
Now they continue their conversation this inning. Evan almost went after that first slider. Pineda buzzed the tower a little bit with Longoria last at bat as he was trying to dive into the plate to protect against that slider. Good back and forth battle between these two early on.
1-0 the count. Time asked for and granted. Evan had 2 hits last night, drove in 4 runs. His RBI total at 72 on the year now. Pitch is outside. Connected on another 3-0 pitch last night. Hit a 3-0 pitch out in the Boston series, and little doubt about that one. A 2-run shot in the first off Charlie Furbush, the left-hander. There goes Jennings. The pitch off speed. Throw to third. That's going to be in time. Jennings caught trying to steal. Barred down to Kennedy, and the Rays lose the base runner.
We've seen Bard today with a pretty quick release, and then again he had a quick release there. The 2-0 pitch is a breaking ball, and Desmond Jennings tries to pull his hand back. Ooh, if he would have gone in with that right hand, he actually did a good job of pulling his hand back, but his right hand missed the bag.
Pitch is up to Longoria. Let's take another look and slow it down.
If his right hand hits the bag here, safe, but his hand's to the side of the bag, and by the time he tries to get his left hand back in, the tag's applied.
Yeah, and you saw Kennedy's knee down, but he still had access to the bag. The bag was not blocked off by Kennedy's knee. He laid that knee across the top of the bag.
That was a good fake by Desmond with the left hand, but if you're faking with the left hand, tag the bag with the right hand.
3-2, and he is overpowered by that fastball. So Longoria is out of there, and the Rays do not score. We're through 3, 4-2 Seattle. With the home run last night, Evan Longoria now has hit 20 or more home runs in each of his first 4 big league seasons. Who's the only other third baseman to accomplish that feat? Longoria picking up the RBI pace along with the home run pace. Kyle Seager, the shortstop, leads it off. Pitch outside. Luis Rodriguez not playing. He still has a sore right elbow from last night's game when he left early. 2-0. Rodriguez hit by a pitch in the second inning last night. Is wide. Now 3-0. They did activate Brendan Ryan, who can play second, short, or third. But they say that he's not exactly 100%, which is a little strange. He had a sprain in his left shoulder. So I guess he's available very limited action right now. There's a base hit. Seager's 2 for 2. So leadoff base hit for Seager. Let's check in with Angela.
Hey guys, here I am honored to be in the group here of the new Tampa Little League, the Florida Little League state champs. They came 3 outs away from a trip to the World Series, unfortunately losing to Georgia in the regional finals. I'm here with one of the coaches, Mike Thinger. And Mike, wow, what a run of success for you guys.
Thank you. It was an amazing summer by all the boys. It was a lot of fun.
And now you get another treat back here at Tropicana Field, but I understand you got to take batting practice today.
Yeah, all the boys got to take batting practice, a couple of the coaches, and it was just a great thrill. The Rays hosting us, they went above and beyond for us today. And
one more thrill, I hear that David, his dog Astro, ran through batting practice, ran wild.
Yeah, he came through and one of the boys was batting. We stopped. We thought it probably wouldn't be good to hurt his dog.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Right,
yeah.
right.
As well as your entire season. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we got a party of more than 50. Guys, say hi right over there.
Hi,
hey, back to you guys.
All right, Angela, the new Tampa Little League champs, the Florida champs, and Joe Madden got in on that part of that batting practice process as well. Bard started to go, but he checked. It's going to take the count to 3-0.
Yeah, they had a great year in New Tampa Little League. Just missed the World Series, led 2-0 going to the last inning. The team out of Warner Robins, Georgia, beat them 4-2 with a rally.
It's a strike. 3-1.
Hasn't been easy for Shields today. Just always seems to be battling. Not one of those characteristic easy outings for James Shields where he's been on early.
They've had the leadoff man on in 3 of the first 4 innings, and now the first 2 men on here as Bard draws a walk. That pushes Seager into scoring position at second. So 2 men on for the top of the order, nobody out. 60 pitches for Shields. And that's a few more than usual because he has been very good in keeping that pitch count per inning low.
Rays defensive alignment going to make sure everybody's on the same page with a little huddle at the mound. You can see Shields talking to himself after that walk to the number 9 hitter Bard. He's just fighting a little bit today. Does not have the normal command that we see behind a couple of hitters. That home run by Wells obviously hurt the first inning, and there you see the numbers that are uncharacteristic for number 33.
And these are all, as we know, important games as we get down to the final month and a half of the season. Actually, we're closing in on really about the last 5 weeks of the regular season now. Here's Ichiro. And the pitch is a strike. The Rays 8 games back, 7.5 in the wild card, and stranger things have happened. That's why you can't say that this team is out of it. The most recent example would be the Phillies in 2007. Ground ball by the mound to second. Zobrist goes to first for the first out. Now they have Bard in a rundown. He's tagged out. They get 2 out of that. Seager goes to third, and the Rays double up Ichiro. Not the conventional double play, but it's still 2 outs. And really nicely done by the Rays with Seager staying at third.
Ben Zobrist really heads up. He realizes he does not have a fast runner in Bard there, so he can go to first and they can still keep Bard in the rundown. And then the Rays keep looking over to make sure the lead runner Seager doesn't try and score, and they were able to turn 2 on a guy who hardly ever hits into a double play, Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah, Ben started that double play and he ended it with the tag of Ichiro. Now Seager at third base, 2 gone, and here's Franklin Gutierrez. Pitch outside, 1-0. The Rays got out of a major spot in the 3rd inning. When Seattle admitted second and third, nobody out. Shields got Wells on a ground ball, then struck out Kennedy and Pena. Now man at third with 2 gone, and a ground ball base hit through the hole. Longoria, a diving attempt, and Gutierrez shoots it through to score Seager. And that's going to make it a 3-run game again, 5-2.
Well, it looked like James Shields might be able to escape a second big rally, but Gutierrez has a couple of base hits. That one and a little tailing fastball in on the plate towards his knees. and just past Devin Longoria with a diving effort.
So Gutierrez is now at first. Here's Ackley, Dustin Ackley, and he's 2 for 2. First pitch is a strike, curveball to start this sequence to Ackley. Chopper right side. Shields will have to cover, taking the toss from Kochman. That takes care of Seattle. The Mariners score a run. Bottom of the 4th coming, 5-2 Seattle. Let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question. Besides Evan Longoria, who's the only other third baseman in big league history to hit 20 or more homers in each of his first 4 seasons? That would be Eddie Matthews. Came up with the Boston Braves and moved to Milwaukee and Atlanta. And look at the comparisons here to their first 525 career games. Hits and RBIs, home runs, average. It's a pretty good pace for Longoria. Here's Ben Zobrist hitting a fly ball to center, but it's going to stay in, and Gutierrez on the track makes the catch. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, when you're on the same track as a Hall of Famer, you're off to a great start.
Yeah, exclusive company there with Longoria and Eddie Matthews. Some people thought maybe Chipper Jones should have been on that list, but he actually came up as a 21-year-old back in 1993, did Chipper. He was used mostly as a pinch runner, but ended up with 3 at-bats. And then the next time he came up, 2 years later, he was runner-up for Rookie of the Year in 14 straight 20 home run seasons. But he did have a year prior to that with only 3 ABs.
Strike to Kochman, and the count goes to 1-1. No strike there. 1 out with the bases empty. Two and one.
Mike Schmidt's another guy people might think about with home runs at third base, but he had a really poor rookie year, hit under 200.
Kochman chased that slider, and again it had good bite. Pineda threw him a great slider to strike him out in the second, and look at this one.
That's just in on the hands. Kochman couldn't do anything with it the last time and couldn't do anything with it with the 2-1 pitch here.
Chops it back over the mound, back of the bag. Seager makes the pickup and the throw. 2 gone.
In today's game and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Rays home run hit during televised Sun Sports or Fox Sports Florida games.
Well, here's B.J. Upton with the bases empty and 2 gone. Pitch outside. B.J. hoping to get an early start, celebrating his birthday today. Todd.
27. A lot of baseball already for B.J. Upton at age 27 at the big league level.
And the pitch is a strike. 1-1. The Rays forced to play a catch-up baseball here. 1-2. See Upton, a lifetime .255 hitter. Down 1-2. The base is empty. That's a popper to the right side. Karp and Ackley after it. Ackley's going to run him off in foul territory and make the catch. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 5th. The Rays are down by 3. Red Spotlight brought to you by Just for Men Mustache and Beard. Well, James Shields could use a little run support. He gives his team a chance to win, gives them the edge, and you can keep your edge with Just for Men Mustache and Beard. We go to the 5th, and here's Todd.
Thanks, Dwayne. Mike Karp leads things off and takes a called strike on the outer half. 0-1. Shields, as you can see, 0-7 this year because in 9 of those games, 0-7 with 1 or no runs of support. He would have needed to throw a shutout in any of those games to pick up a win. He does have 4 shutouts on the year. Just not a lot of run support for Shields, but today he's allowed 5 runs on 9 hits through 4. Ahead of Karp, 0-2. Misses there. It's 1-2. Mike Karp extending his hitting streak his last time up with a double down the right field line. 20-game hitting streak. He's been on base now 29 straight. Swing and a miss and a good changeup, and that'll do it for Karp. That is strikeout number 4 for Shields. 1 away here in the 5th.
Yeah, this is vintage Shields here. Get ahead of the left-handed hitter, and then you throw this changeup, and it was a dandy of a strikeout. You know, he actually this year has thrown his changeup more to right-handed hitters than he has to left-handed hitters.
Yeah, that's unusual. And you know what else he's doing? He's throwing that curveball a lot more than any other point in his career.
Yep, and he's thrown that to left-handed hitters more than he has right-handed hitters, and you can figure that.
Right. Casper Wells, who hit a 2-run home run his first time up, fouls one off. It's 0-1. It's funny, I was talking to James before this start, and obviously Seattle's changed the lineup a lot since the last time when he got hit around a little bit at their place, but asked him about facing guys for the first time, whether he feels like advantage for the changeup pitcher. And he's like, well, you would think, but he said sometimes the new guys give me the most problems. And that includes Wells, who hit a home run the first time, because he says, I don't know their tendency. So he doesn't have the ability to set up those type of hitters as well as he does guys where he has a history.
You know, the other thing that I really find strange as it pertains to Shields this year, he's had such a great year, and all of his numbers across the board, they're going to be somewhere among league leaders.
To short for Brignac on one knee, and he'll throw across in time.
And he's a guy with this great changeup. That's really what got him to the big leagues, that the changeup was so good. You expect changeup pitchers sometimes to have reverse numbers of the conventional pitcher. For an example, it's in many ways an advantage for a changeup pitcher to be behind in the count. How about this? Down 1-0 on the count, the opposition hits 350 off it. Down 2-0, they hit 455.
Wow.
And down 3-1, they hit 444. And those are counts where you'd think, boy, that changeup's going to come into play. Hitters keying for something a little harder, like the fastball. They get the changeup, and that's the advantage of the changeup. Hasn't worked out that way this year for Shields.
And Shields was hurt a little bit early in this game when falling behind in counts. Adam Kennedy, the batter, 1-1, up the middle of 4. Diving effort by Zobrist and a catch. What a play by Ben Zobrist. Picked it clean right off the dirt for the final out of the inning. A soft line drive that Ben Zobrist catches, and an exhale on the way to the dugout. That is a fine play by Zobrist, and a 1-2-3 inning for Shields, his first of this ballgame, 5-2 Mariners. All season by Hyundai. 5-2 in favor of Seattle. Michael Pineda on for the 5th inning of work. Matt Joyce will lead things off. Joyce with an RBI single his last time up. Also picked up a stolen base. Joyce drove in the first run of the game for the Rays, and he takes a called strike, 0-1. Ben Zobrist ended the inning. Dwayne?
Yeah, let's take a look at this. This could be a miracle catch. He turns a non-out into an out.
How about that?
He does the impossible.
Ignore the authentic sign above him. That was a tough call for the second base umpire, the crew chief Mike Winters. He was behind Ben Zobrist on that play, but you can see Zobrist may have sold it a little bit more than what was actually the truth. 0-2 pitch is inside and low for ball. Also, Reed Brignac was claiming that was an out too.
Absolutely, he did his share of selling it, and I think Ben thought it was in his heart really an out, and he really sold it.
2-2 the count. Pineda so far has allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, as he misses outside, and now Joyce has run the count full. Pineda now up to 66 pitches. Shields with 76 through 5. Foul tip caught by Bard. That's a strikeout for Pineda, his 5th in the game.
Threw him a 3-2 slider. Started it wide and broke it over. And that's still pretty much his standard fare. The fastball and the slider with an occasional changeup.
John Jaso also had an RBI his first time up. Just like Joyce, it was a 2-out, 2-strike RBI, which are sometimes daggers to the opposition. In this case, the Mariners able to bounce back, add another run to their lead. Leading at 5-2 over the Rays here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Rays looking for a sweep over this weekend series. 1-1 pitch is a little bit low to Jaso, 2-1. Jaso making his 2nd start of this series and his 2nd start since being brought back from Durham after that rehab assignment. Was 0 for 2 on Friday night, including a sacrifice bunt on the Rays' 1st and 3rd play with an RBI. 1st and 3rd, less than 2 outs. That bunt got home a run to tie the game against Felix Hernandez. There's a strike, and now the count is full on John Jaso. 2nd straight full count from Pineda.
He's had 3 ball counts on 4 of the last 8 hitters he's faced.
Backhand attempt by Ackley knocks it down, and Jaso lives. I mentioned Ackley's not a second baseman by nature. Has learned at the professional level to play second base. They're going to call this one a base hit for Jaso. He's now 2 for 2.
Take a look at the backhand attempt. And a little stiff with the backhand. That's really a tough play. They're really good infielders. Have just such a soft glove with that. And as you pointed out, that's a position that he's not spent a lot of time playing. He's still an impressive young player, actually.
He was teammates with Kyle Seager with North Carolina for 3 years. Seager was the second baseman, and Ackley was primarily the outfielder. Ackley shifted to first. There you see Seager. Seager also played some third, but Seager's also learning to play some short at the professional level as well. There goes Jaso swinging a foul tip. Bard's throw is going to be in plenty of time. Jaso is thrown out. Ray's trying to put a little hit and run on, and Reed Brignac foul tipped it into the glove of Josh Bard.
Well, the Rays forced the issue with a couple stolen bases in the 2nd inning, and they try to put a man in motion here and lose him on the bases. Jaso with a look back on the hit and run.
Brignac trying to hold up, but he goes around, and now he's down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Rays trying to stay aggressive on the bases. It paid off against Felix Hernandez on Friday night. Worked a little bit to their favor in the 2nd inning. Actually worked well twice with 2 steals, putting runners in scoring position on Pineda. Both of them came around to score, but there John Jaso wiped out on the throw by Josh Bard. Broken bat into shallow center field. In fact, it's just deep second, where the shortstop Kyle Seager makes the play for the final out of the inning. There is the broken piece of lumber. The Rays trail 5-2. In part by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit geico.com today. James Shields on for his 6th inning of work. So far, James has allowed 5 runs to this Mariners team on 9 hits. Same team that picked on James up in Seattle for 8 runs, 7 of them earned in just 4 innings of work. William Opeña now part of the Mariners team. He was not part of the team when Shields faced them back in June. He has singled off of James Shields' pitching arm, right up on his right forearm, and he's also struck out swinging. 1-1 the count to Peña. Shields this year with 2 starts that have really moved that ERA up towards 3. He had that start in Seattle, 7 earned runs in 4 innings. And he had that start in Oakland where he allowed 10 runs in 4 innings. So in those 2 starts combined, just 8 innings of work and 17 earned runs. Even with that, his ERA coming into today was 2.83, but it would be 2.08 without those 2 games, which would be leading the American League. Swing and a miss. Peña goes down. Fish strike out of the ball game. Let's check in right now with Angela Jacobs.
Hey guys, yes, it is Kids Sunday with David Price and his superhero action figure with his super dog Astro taking the spotlight today. There's Astro making his visit this morning. He was running wild, I hear, all over the field, but such a cute little dog, a little bit of a cartoonish look for him. You know, he has his own Twitter page after all, and who knows? You could see him in his own cartoon, can't you? Well, that leads us to our Autoway text poll of the day. Who is your favorite cartoon dog? TB1 Astro, TB2 Pluto, TB3 Scooby-Doo, TB4 Snoopy, TB5 Clifford the Big Red Dog. Text your vote to 789-789. Standard message and data rates apply. Always having fun on Kids Sunday. Guys, back to you.
All right, Angela, that's right. We saw the live version, but it was also the giveaway item today. Astro, the super dog. Called strike on Kyle Seager.
I think the Rays are breaking new ground in the giveaway. I'm not sure that there's been another dog included in an action figure giveaway.
I would say that's a pretty good statement, pretty fair statement that is correct.
They've been at the top of the list the last few years when it comes to premium giveaways, and they continue that trend, the marketing department.
The toothbrush holder, all kinds of innovative ideas. 0-2 on Seager, has a couple of hits against Shields. This guy's proven to be a tough out during the series. Stayed alive in last night's game and forced Joel Peralta to end up throwing over 20 pitches in that inning. Part of a 12-pitch at bat before Peralta struck him out to end the game. Joe Madden said he was actually contemplating during that at bat removing Peralta mid at bat just because he didn't want to extend them beyond 20 pitches. 0-2 pitch is way upstairs. I think he was joking, but still, Seager put a lot more pitches on Peralta's record than he would have liked.
Yeah, a 12-pitch at bat. And he had 2 outs and gave up that base hit to Peña, and then took 12 pitches to finally end the thing.
1-2 to Seager. There is a strikeout. Shields gets him swinging on a high fastball. Strikeout number 6 for James, and 2 in a row. This is what kids 14 and under picked up today, Dwayne.
Oh, there you go.
Astro.
Great combination. Detachable dog. That's important.
Yeah, and attachable too. You can put them right on there. There you go. They can fly around together, save the world. Or in this case, maybe rally the Rays down 5-2. Josh Bard takes one inside for a ball. Price had this in his hand in the dugout during last night's game.
Oh yeah, they were, walking him along the railing.
Price and his super dog Astro, today's giveaway item. And it's now 1-1 on Josh Bard.
Hey, Price doesn't pitch till Tuesday. Starting pitchers have to have something to do in between starts.
No doubt about it. David Price is usually having fun somewhere, wherever he is. There's a good pitch, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shields has a chance to strike out the side. I think James is finally getting into some rhythm. He's now retired 6 in a row since the final out of the 4th inning. But up until that point, it was a battle for the first 4 innings. And now he's looking to pick up a strikeout here. He struck out Peña. He struck out Seager. He does not get Bard to chase the changeup there, and it's 2-2. That was a curveball. It's 2-2.
Oh, yeah, Jaso moving out to his left, and that breaking ball started to break the other way. Had Jaso headed one way and the pitch the other.
Rays trailed after 1 inning, 3-0. They're now down 5-2. James Shields trying to keep it right there. Again, he bounces one up there, and Bard refuses to chase. Now the count's full, and Shields a little aggravated at himself that he couldn't get a pitch a little closer to home than maybe Bard would offer at with 2 strikes. Bard is grounded out and walked. 3-2. Swing and a miss. There is that changeup for strikeout number 7, and James Shields strikes out the side here in the 6th inning. 7 in a row sent down as the Rays trail 5-2. Trailing to 5-2. The one aspect of his game that has surprised Joe Madden so far is power.
I didn't expect it to be all of that. I mean, the other stuff, the speed, the defense, the base running, the good at-bats, all that stuff I thought would be there. But all of a sudden, a home run makes him even more interesting. And he's a great kid. He's a great kid. He's very quiet. He listens well. And he's going to get better. This is the part of it that you have to understand. You still see some of the mistakes that he makes, but as he moves it along and gets more experience, this guy's going to get better.
Joe Madden with our Geico quote of the game as Desmond Jennings leads off. He struck out his first time up, and then he hit a 3-1 pitch for a double his last time, 1 for 2, but Jennings was caught stealing, trying to go to third. 2 base runners have been wiped out by Josh Bard. Jennings in the third, and John Jaso on a hit and run where he was thrown out in the last inning. 1-1 the count. Michael Pineda pitching against the Rays for the second time this season. Limited Tampa Bay to just 1 hit his first time through, and that happened up in Seattle on July 30th at Safeco Field. 6 1/3 innings of 1 hit, 1 earned run baseball. 2 runs scored in that game, 4 walks, and he struck out 10. 1-2 pitch is popped in the air and out of play. Today Pineda has struck out 5 and allowed 5 hits. He has not walked any batters.
Yeah, and that's kept his pitch count in pretty good shape. He made 78 pitches through 5 innings. So he's in pretty good shape in that department.
Back through the middle and a base hit on the 1-2 pitch. Jennings now 2 for 3 and a leadoff base runner for the Rays here in the 6th. Jennings continues to impress. He had struck out 3 times in a row against Pineda, but some nice adjustments in his last 2 at-bats. Johnny Damon, the batter. Damon has grounded out and popped to short, 0 for 2. On the ground, right side. Ackley will spin and throw, and it's safe at second. It was going to be close either way, but Seager couldn't handle the throw. Jennings' speed again paying off for our Rays rally.
I tell you, Ackley had trouble fielding that ball and getting it up and out. And then he had to hurry the situation, and everybody's safe. We'll take another look at this and watch the ball come up on it. He had to hurry and then made the low throw. So the Rays with a great opportunity. 2 men on, nobody out.
Throw actually hits Jennings in the back right here. And you're right, Dwayne, if he comes up with that cleanly, he probably still has time to get the speedy Jennings, but then he had to rush the throw, and Jennings may have been safe anyhow after that double clutch. So Rays trying to build a rally against Pineda. First and second, nobody out, and Evan Longoria, the batter, down 3. Pineda has been tough on Longoria this afternoon. And Evan pops one in the air down the right field line. Going back is Karp. Ackley is back there too. And Karp drops it in foul territory. Never looked comfortable getting under that pop-up, but it ends up falling.
They're going to call that a no play. Karp had to go a long way up that right side, but got down there. It was a difficult play. We've seen that made before. But it's a no play. Just could not squeeze it in that big first baseman's mitt. And Longoria gets another shot.
So Evan catches a break there. Down in the count, 0-1. Pineda has struck him out twice. 2 of the 5 strikeouts in this game. There's a ball in the right field. Ichiro will go back looking at the wall, and he has the plate right in front of the wall. Jennings goes back to tag. He'll reach third. Longoria hit it pretty well the other way. Suzuki makes the play right in front of the wall for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, thought for a moment that Longoria might get some of that carry that we see when he's swinging the bat well and driving the ball. He'll get a little extra carry. And that one sent Ichiro all the way back just about 2 steps from the wall before he made the catch.
So now runners at first and third for the Rays with 1 out. And Ben Zobrist, who's really hit Pineda as well as anybody the first 2 times they've seen this rookie right-hander. Zobrist had the only hit in Seattle against Pineda. And he had a base hit his first time up and hit a ball pretty deep to center field his last time up. 4 and out. First and third, 1 out. And pitches down low to Ben, 1-0. Rays have trailed the entire game. Down 3-0 at the end of 1. Down 4-2 at the end of 2. And down 5-2 since the middle of the 4th. Now a chance for the Rays with a tying run at home plate.
Pineda's shown the Rays a couple looks with that fastball. One more of a 4-seam, and then he'll cut that fastball a little bit.
Picks up the outer edge. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And he's got a pretty good slider that we've seen as well today. I think that's one right there that started wide. He just cut it right over the outside corner.
Check of Johnny Damon at first base. Rays now with 6 hits in the ball game. Trying to rally against this rookie Pineda. That's a strike. Ball and 2 strikes to Zobrist. And Zobrist, last 10 games, 457. That carries forward or backwards all the way before the last road trip. 5-game road trip, 2 games so far in this 7-game homestand have been played. So Ben Zobrist 16 for his last 35, including 6 more doubles, 41 on the year. Picks up a double here. The Rays will be within a run. In the air to center field. It's going to be playable, but it's plenty deep enough for Desmond Jennings at third to tag. Gutierrez won't even try and attempt to play towards home as he throws it back towards second base. So Zobrist with a sacrifice fly. He now ties Evan Longoria for the team lead in RBIs with 72, and the Rays have cut the lead to 5-3. Zobrist had the RBI lead for the last couple of months. Longoria has never led the team in RBIs until after last night's game when he picked up 4. And Longoria only had 13 RBIs through 63 games of the season, but he had 59 in his last 60 to give him the team lead in that department. Here's Casey Kochman. Kochman has struck out and grounded out, and he has had some tough swings against Pineda today on that slider. Rays have tried to run again today like they have all weekend long against Seattle. They did pick up 2 steals in the second, but they've been caught stealing. Jennings got caught in the third. Jaso got caught in the fifth on a hit and run. Pitch to Kochman is a called strike, 0-1. Casey likes hitting against his former team, but this weekend in particular, they have pitched him very, very tough. A little bit away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Might be one of the few changeups we've seen him throw. And even that, it's hard. That changeup's anywhere from about 84 to sometimes 87.
Threw one early in the game to Johnny Damon. Threw one to Zobrist early in the game, too. Now Kochman gets a changeup. Yeah, not many on the game. You're single digits usually. The number of changeups you'll see closer to 5 to 7 for Pineda, and it's always to lefty hitters. 1-1 the count to Kochman. There goes Damon. Bard's throw is not in time. Johnny Damon with his 12th steal of the year. Now he's in scoring position for the Rays. Pitch was a ball. It's 2-1.
The pitch wide. Actually, a pretty good pitch to throw on. And it turns out to be close. But Damon just did beat the play with his 12th stolen base. And the Rays continue to force the issue and steal their way into scoring position.
Bard now 2 for 5 in throwing out runners this afternoon. 2-1 to Kochman. In the air to center field, pretty well struck. Gutierrez going back, though. He'll have a play, and he'll make it right in front of the warning track. That'll do it for the Rays, but the Rays tack on a run on a sacrifice fly by Ben Zobrist. It's now a 5-3 game heading to the 7th. first inning for James Shields. No coverage at second. He throws the ball into the outfield. Then a ground ball RBI for Mike Carp. Made it a 1-0 game. Casper Wells picked on the first pitch he's ever seen from James Shields for a 2-run home run. That made it 3-0. Another RBI ground out by Josh Bard made it 4-0. But back came the Rays' Matt Joyce, a 2-strike, 2-out RBI after a stolen base by Zobrist. Then after a steal by Joyce, John Jaso drives him in on a 2-out, 2-strike RBI. And Ben Zobrist wraps up the Rays scoring last inning with a sacrifice fly. Franklin Gutierrez had driven in a run as well for Seattle back in the 4th inning. So that's where we stand as we head to inning number 7. Time for Dwayne Stats with more.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. The Rays down by a couple. Shields' distribution of outs, 7 strikeouts with 10 groundouts and a fly ball. And he faces Ichiro. The pitch is down. 1 ball and no strikes. And a line drive base hit into center field by Ichiro, who picks up his first hit. You know, as we looked at that breakout, the distribution of outs, technically speaking, I guess the only ball in the air was that ball that Kennedy hit. Zobrist made the play on, and that was more of a line drive than a fly ball, and caught on the line, sinking line drive to the point where Zobrist really had to dig it into the ground and dig it out, sell the catch.
Yeah, anything to the outfield today has been a base hit. No flyouts to Jennings, Upton, or Joyce.
10 hits now for Seattle. There's Gutierrez. He has 2 of them and a run batted in. Pitch a little bit off the plate. A ball and no strikes. Shields in the mid-90s in pitch count. 96 right now. He had retired 7 in a row before giving up the base hit to Ichiro. And it's popped up right side. Zobrist angling out for it near the line and into foul territory. Ben over there to make the catch. Boy, Zobrist continues to play so well defensively, whether it's at second base or right field. You know, you watch him play in right field for a while and you think, well, there's the place he should play, and then they move him into second. You go, hey, he's pretty good there too.
Yeah, such versatility and able to play fine defense wherever he is. Hey, a reminder, look for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment later in today's game.
Dustin Ackley in the batter's box. Pitch outside. Ichiro at first with 1 away. Ackley has 2 hits. Scored a run when he reached in the first. Ground ball. Kochman, nice pickup. Out at second. Shields covering first. The throw not in time. But they get the lead man on a nice pickup by Kochman down to Brignac. Ichiro's retired. Ackley reaches on a fielder's choice.
You gotta love Casey Kochman making this play because it was a tough play first of all, and then he always throws that strong bullet to second base to try and give his relay man a chance. In this case, Reed Brignac for the double play. Unfortunately, Ackley with good enough speed that the Rays unable to turn it, but Kochman makes that play so well, like he does so many different plays at first.
Mike Carp, he has a double to extend his hitting streak to 20. 1 for 3. He lifts it into left. Jennings will have to go back. That ball carries, and Jennings is there to make the catch. Jennings a step and a half in front of the wall, made the catch, and his momentum carried him into the fence out there. 7th inning stretch time. 5-3 Seattle. Reds have taken their 7th inning stretch. The Rays are coming in to hit in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing 5-3. Rays have won the first 2 games, 3-2 and 8-0. They've won 4 in a row and 6 straight at home. 12 games over 500. That's the high water mark for the Rays. And Jamie Wright is the new pitcher. He follows Michael Pineda to the mound.
Wright's on a nice roll right now in game number 50 on the season. Last pitch Wednesday against the Toronto Blue Jays. 11 1/3 consecutive scoreless for Jamie Wright, the veteran who's played on a number of different major league teams as he now pitches for the Mariners here in the 7th inning.
Pineda made 94 pitches through 6 innings. He struck out 5 and did not walk anyone, which was one of his saving graces today. The Rays got to him for a couple of runs in the 2nd and another unearned run in the 6th. So he leaves this game with a 2-run lead and puts it in the hands of Jamie Wright.
Eight different big league teams for Jamie Wright. He's been in the big league since 1996. It's before Tampa Bay had a baseball team.
It'll be Jay Upton leads it off here in the home half of the 7th. Swings and misses. It's a strike. BJ 0 for 2. Well, he's trying to start something here in the 7th. Ignite a rally for the Rays. They have trailed all afternoon. One ball, one strike, a breaking ball. BJ has some good numbers against Wright. He's 5 out of 12 lifetime against him with a home run. Just off the plate a bit with that pitch. Joyce to follow, and then Jaso. And that pitch is away. 3 balls and a strike. Wright will be 37 on Christmas Eve. Out of Oklahoma City. And BJ draws the walk. So the Rays have the leadoff man on, and that's the first walk they've drawn today.
Stay tuned after the post game today for the debut of Inside the Rays Odd Jobs. Get an inside look at some of the unusual attractions at Tropicana Field. Bill Matthews not one of those. That includes the Rays touch tank. Also, you can find out about Bill Matthews and some of the odd jobs performed at the ballpark. Really the official score. It's Inside the Rays Odd Jobs today after Rays Live, the post game show.
Well, here's Matt Joyce. Upton at first base with the walk. Had only 2 walks. The Mariners have 1 from Shields. And now the Rays 1 off Mariner pitching. Another move over there. And the Rays have forced the issue today, trying to get men into scoring position as often as they can. And Upton, 26 stolen bases, 7th in the league. There he goes. Pitch is shot down the left side. That ball's going to be a fair ball and will one-hop the low wall. So it's a ground rule double. Well, Upton will have to stop at third when that ball bounded over the low wall. A 2-base hit the other way for Joyce.
Normally you would think that cost the Rays a run, but it really didn't, because B.J. Upton got deked at second base and he never moved off the bag. So even though this ball does not stay in play, the Rays do not get a bad break, because watch B.J. Upton get deked. He couldn't find the baseball. He's looking up. He's saying, is that a foul ball? And then Foley's waving him along, and well, he wouldn't have scored anyhow if that ball stayed in play, because he never moved off the bag.
Here's John Jaso now with 2 men in scoring position. And the pitch is a strike. So the Rays with a major threat here to face the right-hander Jamie Wright. Mariners start to get more action in the bullpen. Jaso takes it wide. Now 1-1. Jeff Gray, the right-hander, is up in the bullpen. We got the final out in the 8th inning of last night's game. Jaso breaks his bat, hits a ground ball to second. Ackley's going to go to first, and across the plate, Upton makes it a 1-run ball game. Jaso driving in his second run. Joyce goes over to third.
That accomplishes 2 things, as you said, Dwayne. It moves the runner along, too, so now a fly ball can score the runner. Jaso, there you see, breaking the bat as Wright had to skip out of the way. No left-handers in the Mariners bullpen right now. Aaron Laffey was designated for assignment earlier in the week, so they don't have any lefties to combat all the Rays lefties here at the bottom of the lineup. Joyce, Jaso, and it was going to be Reed Brignac, but instead it's going to be another lefty coming off the bench.
Yeah, Sam Fold will be called upon to pinch hit. The Rays have the potential tying run at third with 1 out. Fold had a big pinch hit in the 8th inning of the game here Friday night. And he did that without the benefit of one of his front teeth.
He's got the cap back now, though. He said he was a little bit nervous because he was hitting 1,000 without that front tooth, but he's going back to the clean look again.
Yeah, well, if he makes it out here, there's another trip to the dentist in it for him. Infield pulled in. And he takes the pitch wide. Curveball that stayed outside. Down and in. 2 balls, no strikes.
Usually they think for Sam Fold, keep the ball out of the air, but in this situation they wouldn't mind if he tries to square one up and hit a deep fly ball, get this game tied. The Rays have been trying to rally back since the start of the game.
That catches the corner. Strike 1. 2-1 now.
A little cutter here, slider on the inner half of the plate.
Up and away. 3 balls and a strike. Upton opened with a walk. The only walk the Rays have drawn, and that's led to a run. Joyce at third with 1 out now. And a 3-1 count to Sam Fold. And he walks. Fastball down. Second walk of the game and the second walk of the inning. Sets up first and third for the top of the batting order, Desmond Jennings. Well, all kinds of things could happen here with Joyce at third and Fold at first. First and third, 1 out, and Jennings the hitter.
We know Jennings can bunt well. The Rays love that first and third bunt play, but they're down 1. The other thing, if you're Seattle, Dwayne, it's a very difficult decision how to play your defense, because you would normally try and play back in the middle looking for a double play, but with Jennings, you can't think double play.
Yeah, he has explosive speed not only on the bases, but out of the batter's box. Almost instant full speed ahead.
So Seattle's kind of playing the middle halfway, where if they get a ball towards the bag, they may try and turn it, but if not, they'll try and come home.
So here's Jennings. He has a double and a single and 3 at bats. And a pitch out, but nothing doing. about what the Rays might be doing here, aware of the bunt possibilities, and they called for the pitch out.
That is something you would never see against any other team but the Rays, because they love that bunt play so much in this scenario.
Rays have trailed all afternoon and moved to first, and Fold is back in. Rays trailed 3-0, 4-0, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, now 5-4. And the pitch showing bunt, got the bat back. 2-0. You saw Fold bluff that start off first.
And that was the play. The key thing is, though, because it's not a squeeze play, you can pull your bat back if it's a pitch that's not a strike, and Desmond taking that for a ball.
Two and nothing the count. And the way the Rays employ that play, you're not necessarily talking about giving up an out. And nothing doing there. Trying to smoke something out.
It's really proven to be almost an indefensible play when the Rays execute it correctly. And Jennings is one of those guys you trust with the bat, able to get one down on the right side.
And a take by Jennings on a pitch low. So it's 3-0. 2 walks in the inning, a double, a ground ball, got a run home. First and third. 3-0 the count to Jennings. And he takes a strike. 3-1.
Argent's motion for Ackley to cover second in case Fold's on the move, which again means if the bunt is to the right side, Jennings can beat Carp to the bag, and he could end up with a base hit if the Rays use the play here.
3-1. And the pitch is inside to get Jennings pull the bat back. So the Rays were thinking about that, but he didn't have to bunt. Took the pitch, and the bases are loaded. 3 walks in the inning. They're loaded for Johnny Damon. And out of the dugout comes Eric Wedge. He's going to go to the bullpen again. So a third of an inning for Wright. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS. Baseball brought to you all season by Hyundai. Rays forced to play catch up. They're down by 1 right now, and they've loaded the bases in the bottom of the 7th inning. Eric Wedge going to the bullpen. He got a third of an inning from Jamie Wright. Jeff Gray, 29-year-old right-hander, comes on.
Jeff Gray Picked up that final out in the 8th inning last night. That was his 22nd game of the season. 0-1 record with a 3.96 ERA. Great fastball, slider, and curveball.
Well, here's Johnny Damon. Damon, 6 of 12 against Wright, who just left. 0-for-1 lifetime against Jeff Gray. And good with the bases loaded. The pitch is down and in. They're loaded right now. He has 6 career grand slams. And this year, 5 out of 12 with the bases loaded. And he takes another pitch down. Fastball missing. It's 2-0.
He's also walked twice this year with the bases loaded. 15 RBIs in 5 hits means he's not just singling home 1 run at a time. He's picking up multiple RBIs when he's had the bases full.
2 balls, no strikes. And there's ball 3. He took the fastball up. All the pressure on Jeff Gray right now. Rays have received 3 walks in this inning. 3-0 now to Damon. And he takes a strike. Gray finds the zone.
Wasn't exactly middle. That was at the knees. He gets the call, though. Gray still struggling with that strike zone a little bit.
3-1. Swing and a high fly ball. Back into right field. Ichiro on the move. That ball is gone. Home run. Johnny Damon on a 3-1 pitch has hit a grand slam. Damon stopped at second. He wasn't sure. And now he's being motioned home. A 3-1 pitch. And Johnny Damon has given the Rays the lead for the first time today with a grand slam home run, his 7th slam, and the Rays lead 8-5.
This one's going to be reviewed, Dwayne. I think Ichiro Suzuki's coming in and saying it hit the yellow line and came back, that it never actually hit the seats. It was so close. They are going to review this, but either way, Johnny Damon wasn't sure because he stayed at second until he saw the umpires motioning home run. Let's take a look. That hits the yellow line right there on top of the wall. We're going to have a very interesting call right here because not only is there a chance this is going to be reversed, but then you have to place the base runners. Does this hit the yellow line on top? Looks like it does. Yeah, that fan with the glove never touched it. It went high off the top of the wall. So because it was ruled a home run, Dwayne, the Rays are going to have an interesting situation because then you're going to have to place where the runners are. All right, it's not an automatic grounds rule double. It is where the umpires think the runners would have moved forward on the bases, and they were moving along the bases to the point where you could make the argument that 3 runs should score instead of 2.
Well, we'll see what comes out of the review. There it is.
So close to his 7th slam.
Right now it's 8-5, and we're awaiting the review.
You can see how the first base umpire, Mike McClinsky, could get that wrong. That was an unusual looking bounce that very rarely do you see it bounce off that yellow line like that and bounce straight up. It did in that case. There's a very small surface area there on top of the wall where that yellow rail is. And now there's 2 situations. The umpires have to determine whether or not it was a home run, and it appears like it was not. Then they have to determine where to place the base runners, and that's where it can get tricky if they can score 2 or 3 of the Rays runners on that play.
Yeah, if they lose the review, they're going to lead 6-5 or 7-5. If they'd win it, they would be up 8-5, and the umpire's taking a long time with the idea of trying to get it right. And it did take a long time for the umpires to eventually rule on that play. And that's Mike Winters explaining to Eric Wedge what they're coming up with. And now Winters wants to talk with Joe Madden. And part of what Winters might have been talking with Wedge about was the point you brought up. It's going to be a double, so it's not a grand slam. And so it'll be a two-base hit. So Damon goes back out to second base.
And you see Desmond Jennings, he's reading this as a base hit all the way. He was the runner on first base. I saw Winters put up 2 fingers, which means I thought he said 2 runs, but Jennings isn't coming back out. So maybe they did say Jennings would have scored. And that is the accurate call when we look at that replay.
Well, you see where Jennings is. I mean, if anybody's going to score, it's going to be Jennings.
I guess 2 fingers meant double, not 2 runs.
Yeah, it's a double. So it's going to be a 2-base hit, 3 runs batted in. The Rays now lead 7-5. And here's Evan Longoria. They're going to walk him intentionally.
Good to see them get that play entirely correct after the review. That's what review's made for. That play was absolutely umpired correctly based on where the runner should be, and that it was not a home run.
So instead, it's the 22nd double of the year for Damon. He drives in 3 runs with that shot. The Rays have made it a 4-run inning, and this walk to Longoria, the intentional walk, is the 4th walk of the inning. The Rays have 4 walks and 2 doubles in this inning. Still only 1 out. Ben Zobrist will be the hitter, and Eric Wedge comes out. He's going to make another pitching change. So the Rays have come back to grab the lead 7-5, and we'll meet the new pitcher in a moment. Baseball brought to you by Hyundai. People are talking about Hyundai. Uncensored. See what they're saying at Hyundai.com. And by Subway. Eat fresh. Rays have taken a 7-5 lead. We have runners now at first and second with 1 out. The big blow, the bases loaded double by Damon, for a moment called a grand slam home run, but on review overturned. It's a double. Dan Cortez, the new pitcher. The 4th of the day and the 3rd of the inning.
Guy throws very hard fastball, slider, and occasional changeup acquired from the Kansas City Royals in that Yuniesky-Betancourt trade. Fastball that'll be 95, 96, could even touch the upper reaches of the high 90s.
Zobrist has a single and a sacrifice fly in between, a fly ball to center. Officially 1 for 2. The pitch inside. 1-0. The Rays have 7 runs on 8 hits. Zobrist fouls it out in front. 1-1.
One thing on that double not to overlook is the hustle, not just the speed by Desmond Jennings, but the hustle to put himself in position where the umpires could rule that he would have scored on that play.
The pitch fouled back that got in on Zobrist in a hurry. It's 1-2. Well, that's one thing we've noticed on the part of Desmond Jennings. He hustles all the time and hustled the Rays into another run there. This one is down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll take another look at Jennings. Remember now, he was the runner at first. And there's no question he's headed to the plate and would have scored easily.
He's catching Sam Fold right there. Everybody kept playing. Johnny Damon stayed at second. He was the only one that knew for sure that it wasn't a home run.
Zobrist pops it up. Foul ball. Will it reach the stands? Kennedy over there and just back of the dugout in the first row.
Kind of neat how everybody continued to play even though the umpires were signaling home run and the horn was blowing, and Damon thought it was a double, and the Rays didn't take any chances. They kept running around the bases just to make sure.
Well, this is what the Rays battled in the early part of this game for. It was an unusual start for the Rays. Things just would not fall their way. In some cases, they couldn't get out of their own way. They fell behind early, 4-0, but now they lead 7-5. And that is strike 3 called as Zobrist. A 2-2 curveball.
And here is that curve. Cortez throws gas, so you expect him to bring heat most of the time, but then he drops that nice little curveball and throws Zobrist right there. It's been so long since we've seen Shields, you almost forgot he was in the game.
Well, Casey Kochman's going to be the 9th hitter to step in here in the 7th. And there's another breaking ball from the right-hander, strike 1. J.P. Howell is now up in the Rays bullpen. Kochman pops it down the left field line. Wells is under it to make the catch, and that retires the side. But the Rays have a big inning, and they take the lead. They score 4 runs at the end of 7. It's 7-5 Tampa Bay.
Lead heading to the 8th. Experience a Rays game from the all-inclusive Whitney Bank Club, offering extraordinary seating and luxurious lounge and dining areas. The Whitney Bank Club features an upscale full menu buffet and inclusive drink options. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or go to raysbaseball.com to purchase tickets.
We go to the 8th, and James Shields out here facing Wells. The first pitch is a strike. Sean Rodriguez is the new shortstop here. Grignac lifted for the pinch hitter Sam Fuld, who walked. Pitch low and away, and it's 1-1. Shields right now making 102 pitches in this game. Through the first 100 pitches, he had made 63 that were strikes. That's right about average. And there's a base hit to the left of the diving Rodriguez and threw into center. So Wells has his second hit. He had hit the home run back in the first inning.
Mentioned sometimes Shields struggles against guys facing him for the first time, when even you would think the advantage would go to James. That's now 2 hits for Wells, 2 hits for Ackley, and 2 hits for Seager, all facing him for the first time in their career.
Well, Adam Kennedy due up. Jim Hickey heads to the mound for the Rays. So 103 pitches on the day for Shields.
Celebrate that special occasion by purchasing a game-used lineup card, base, baseball, or autographed items from your favorite Rays players. These one-of-a-kind items can be purchased at raysbaseball.com/gameday or at the team store at Tropicana Field.
Kansas City's hitting in the bottom of the 6th, trailing Boston 2-0. And the Twins are batting in the bottom of the 6th, trailing New York 1-0. Adam Kennedy to face Shields. And the pitch is a strike. Kennedy 0 for 3 was victimized in the 5th inning on that dive by Zobrist at second base. It was ruled a catch, and that ended the inning. Kennedy chasing the changeup.
Well, Shields knows how important a lockdown inning is here after finally getting the lead, and throws one of his nastiest changeups of the day to Adam Kennedy there. Move the count to 0-2.
Fly ball lifted into left. Jennings moves over and makes the catch. 1 away.
He said early on, if Shields can somehow find that rhythm again after the first 2 innings, he could take you through 7 or maybe even through 8. And here he is. He gave his team an opportunity to try and come back, and the Rays offense responded.
Willie Mo Pena. Shields today making his 26th start. 9 complete games. Roy Halladay over in the National League has 7. The pitch is down to Pena. A ball, no strikes. Pena singled in the 2nd inning. That was the ball that he hit back to the mound and struck Shields on the pitching arm. And Shields with a slow curve. You see Shields leading the majors with 9 complete games, 2 up on Halladay. Cliff Lee has 5. Cut and miss. Pena missing another curveball. After that base hit, Shields struck him out on a change in the 3rd and used a curveball to get him on the strikes in the 6th inning, and he's gotten to 1-2 using the curveball here in the 8th. And he sends one deep into left center field on the breaking ball, and that one is way out of here. Willie Mo Pena hits a curveball out of here, a 2-run shot. And with that, this game is tied.
Third straight curveball to Pena in that sequence. He took the first one for a strike. He swung and missed the second one, and this one is inside, and he just absolutely hits a 2-iron that never was anything but a line drive rocket. I mean, this thing is absolutely crushed to the lower level of the Captain Morgan deck. Actually hit up on the stairwell of the Captain Morgan deck. And Pena and Shields knew that right away, that was a curveball that Pena was able to put a good barrel on.
So Joe Madden comes out to make the pitching change in what is now a tie game. 7-7. Back in a moment. Man in the ballpark. This guy can hit the ball a long way, as we just saw. He hit that curveball down and hit it out of here in a hurry to tie this game.
It wasn't a terrible pitch. Jaso wants it a little bit more outside than it is, but it is, yeah, it's on the inner half, which allows him to just crush it, and he literally golfs it up to the upper part of the Captain Morgan deck, right off the railing there of the stairwell.
Peralta facing Seager. Kyle Seager fouls it back 1-1. We watched Pena in batting practice. In fact, we talked about it last night. And he hit a ball off the flag. Just if you take a look at where he hit that home run and just go straight up in batting practice, he hit the American flag out there in batting practice the other night.
I've only seen that one other time, and we're usually out there getting ready for the pregame shows.
Seager went after that one and missed it. A fastball up. It's 1-2.
Saw Johnny Gomes hit that flag when he was a Ray, and other than that, that's the only other time. I didn't see it. You saw it. I heard about it. That's a mammoth shot out there.
Just tied the game here in the 8th inning, Pena. Is foul, and here we go again. They had Peralta in the game last night facing Seager trying to end the game, and Kyle Seager had a 12 pitch at bat before a split, a 3-2 split on the 12th pitch of the at bat struck him out. 1-2 the count now to Seager. Fouls another pitch back.
I would venture to guess the way that ball was struck with as much force and velocity, there's not many people, if anybody else in the American League, that can hit a baseball like that. He just has ridiculous strength and power. This is his first American League home run, but he has 34 other home runs this year, 29 in the minors and 5 in the National League. This guy can hit the ball as far as anybody in baseball.
Seager lifts a fly ball short right, and Zobrist got a good break on that. Gets out there and makes the catch. Nice play by Zobrist to get there inside the line, and that takes care of Seager.
Take a look at the jump for Zobrist. Again, he's towards the bag at second, and he does get a great break, Dwayne. His outfield play helps him out there at second base, where he gets a great break and makes it look easy. That can be a ball that can give some second baseman trouble.
There's the catcher, Josh Bard. Ball in there for a strike. Carl Crawford just did a home run for Boston in Kansas City in the 7th inning. He hit it into the fountains in Kansas City, and it's now 3-0. Crawford's 8th home run of the year. A foul back to third toward the bullpen. 2 strikes.
Day filled with frustration for James Shields. Frustrated early in the game on a couple of ground balls that found its way into the hole for base hits, and then that error in the first inning, and then frustration at the end of the game because he was in line finally for a win again until Willie Mo Pena golfed that ball into left center field to the Captain Morgan deck.
Seven runs, 12 hits allowed by Shields. Pitch is fouled back. He had 7 strikeouts in 7 1/3 innings. He walked Bard back in the 4th. That's the only walk he gave up. It's been one of those days for Shields. Just a piece of it. Stays alive. 2 outs, 2 runs home, 2 strikes to count to Bard.
The fine margin in baseball between a win or no decision. That ball was low enough, but it was on the inner half of the plate instead of the outer half of the plate. Pena was able to tag it for a home run instead of an inning-ending strikeout, or at least a second out of the inning.
Ball chopped up the right side. Shields and now Peralta. Time granted by Mark Weckner, the plate umpire. Two-strike pitch again. And he got him. He strikes him out. Fastball up a bit. That takes care of Seattle. But the Mariners get a 2-run home run off the bat of Willie Mo Pena. Hit a breaking ball out of here, and that ties the game at 7.
Has tied the game at 7. For all the latest updates on your Tampa Bay Rays, log on to TampaBay.com for in-depth news, stories, and scores 24 hours a day. Only at TampaBay.com, powered by the St. Petersburg Times.
Well, B.J. Upton's going to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. Now would be a good time to start the birthday celebration. This game is tied 7-7. Upton opened the 7th inning with a walk and scored the first of 4 runs for the Rays. 0 for 2 officially today, and he faces Dan Cortez. Swings through the first pitch, strike 1. Joyce to follow, and then Jaso. Willie Moe's 2-run homer. Willie Moe Pena hit one out in the top of the 8th. Upton fouls it. 0-2. Kyle Farnsworth has gotten up in the Rays bullpen. Peralta, who finished off the game last night. Farnsworth picked up a save in Friday's game. BJ is called out on strikes. A fastball. So Upton is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th.
2 strikes you've got to protect. This ball is right near the corner of the plate. Either way, it is close enough. And yes, it did catch the plate. Good call by umpire Mark Wegner.
So 1 away. There's Matt Joyce. Ball, no strikes. Matt, 2 out of 3. 2 balls, no strikes. There's ball 3. 3-0.
If Cortez challenges him here, and even more interestingly, see if Joe Madden gives Joyce a chance 3-0 to swing for the fences.
There's ball 4. So Joyce draws a walk. The Rays have a base runner with 1 out. John Jaso coming to the plate.
It's one thing that has plagued Cortez during his career, especially in the minors, just limited time in the big leagues, is he does have that good fastball, but sometimes the command has been an issue.
Jaso takes a strike. John singled home a run in the 2nd inning. Picked up a base hit in the 5th and drove in a run with a ground ball to 2nd in the 7th. It's 1-1.
Minor leagues, Cortez averaged over 4 walks every 9 innings, so wildness can be an issue. Rays looking to try and rally back again.
Seven 12-1 for Seattle. 7-8-1 for the Rays. Jaso takes it wide. 2 balls and a strike. Michael Pineda worked 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. Jamie Wright charged with 4 runs and a 1/3 of an inning. Here goes the runner, and the pitch is skied to center field. Joyce headed back to first now as Gutierrez makes the catch. 2 outs.
The Mosaic Company and the Rays are working together to end hunger through home runs for food. With each Rays home run, Mosaic donates $500 to Feeding America Tampa Bay. So far, $61,500 has been donated to Feeding America Tampa Bay.
Here is Sean Rodriguez. Sean puts it into center. That ball will not be caught. That's a trap. Over to third base will go Joyce. Big turn by Rodriguez, and he has himself a base hit. It'll be first and third. Eric Wedge wants to talk this one over with the umpiring crew. Joyce is at third, and Rodriguez dropped it right in front of Gutierrez in center field.
Wedge is going right to the crew chief, Mike Winters. Good call there made by Mike McClinsky. It was the first base umpire who made the call. Now Wedge is going to go argue with McClinsky because Winters, the crew chief, at second, he was in the infield. He was on the inner part of the infield. So the call was made by the first base umpire. And as you can see there, close, but an accurate call made by the young umpire at first. Here's another look. Gutierrez can make these plays with anybody in center. And, ooh, that almost hit the glove. Still looks like it was a trap, but that may have bounced on the very tip of the glove. It was tough to tell.
Yeah, I think that angle without depth perception appears to be that way, but the other angle, you can see the ball hit the turf first. So here's Desmond Jennings, and the ball gets by Bard. He's hit by a pitch, however. They're going to call that a hit batter.
Oh.
And Jennings tried to get out of the way, but he's hit by that pitch. The ball skipped by Bard, and they're going to send Joyce back to third base. And the bases are going to be loaded. We're not sure if it hit him or not, but let's take another look and see.
We mentioned Cortez could be wild, and this is wild. Does it hit Desmond Jennings? Maybe just barely grazed the uniform. Does not look like it hits him there, but Desmond was selling it like he got hit, but the Rays would have been better off had it not hit him. It may have hit a fabric on the uniform there. If it didn't hit him, it would have been a wild pitch and a run scored. Hard to tell.
Well, he did his best to get out of the way. The bases are going to be loaded. And here's Johnny Damon. Well, he gets another shot to hit one out. Damon up the left side, slicing it foul out of play. That's a strike. So Joyce is at third, Sean Rodriguez at second, and Jennings at first base. So he's now 6 for 13 with the bases loaded.
And
how about that?
18 RBIs in 13 bases loaded at bats. He likes the big moment.
Well, the Rays have an opportunity in the bottom of the 8th with the bases loaded. 2 outs, a strike to count to Damon.
Joe Madden didn't argue that hit batsman at all, so I think maybe he heard something. Maybe he heard a little cloth there as it went by Jennings.
Way wide, it's headed to the backstop, and the play at the plate. Joyce is out, and the inning is over. How about that? Cortez uncorked one all the way to the backstop. And Joyce is tagged out at the plate, and this game is still tied 7-7. Twice it appeared the Rays might have the lead run home, and Joyce could not get in there before the tag applied by Cortez. And this game remains tied at 7. the special trick plays. How about that one? I don't know that I've ever seen that, particularly when he hit Jennings and then he uncorked that pitch to the backstop and manages to tag Joyce before he could get to the plate, and he certainly appeared to be out at the plate. And the Rays denied the go-ahead run. Still tied at the end of 8 innings, 7-7.
There's Joyce, and it looked like a good call by Wegner at home plate. Very close play. Cortez was wild enough to keep himself in this game because he hits Jennings. If that's a wild pitch, it's the run. And he throws that next one so far above the plate and back to the backstop that it bounced right back to Bard where they could make the play.
Kyle Farnsworth, the new pitcher for the Rays. 2-0 the count to Ichiro. Peralta worked 2/3 of an inning. Picked up a strikeout. Ichiro pops it up. Foul ball, and Longoria is going to run out of room, and another one in the front row.
You heard about being effectively wild, where he ended up being effective because he was so wild.
Yeah, that carries that phrase to the extreme, to be sure.
There's no way he should have gotten out of that inning, but caught some breaks in that one.
Two balls, 2 strikes. The Rays have been out hit 12-9. Suzuki. And a base hit in the 7th inning. And he sends this one foul toward the bullpen and out of play. Count is still 2-2. Kansas City has scored a run in the bottom of the 7th inning. And they have a couple runners on with 1 out. It's a 3-1 Boston right now. Suzuki went around. He's out on strikes. Mike Everett, the third base umpire, says, yep, that's strike 3.
Tries to hold up here as Kyle Farnsworth. It was close to a called strike anyhow. Kyle Farnsworth with a nice little slider or cutter right there on the inside part of the plate. And here's Ichiro. You can see it almost catches the plate. Either way, he was going to be out. That was close to a called strike, but he tried to hold up and went around.
Well, here is Franklin Gutierrez. A little tapper foul. That's a strike.
Oh, how quick Cortez was in covering. I think he's used to that play. Last year at AA, AAA in the major leagues, he uncorked a total of 23 wild pitches.
My goodness. Well, hey, practice makes perfect. 1 ball, 1 strike. They say baseball's a game of repetition. Apparently it's true.
He's probably made that play a number of times in his career, covering home plate on a wild pitch with a runner on third.
1-1 the count to Gutierrez. Ground ball, right side, and Zobrist ranging far to his left makes a nice pickup right there. Well, Zobrist has made some outstanding defensive plays, and he had to cover a lot of ground right there.
Gutierrez runs pretty well also, and then Zobrist, the challenge here is squaring your body up because all your momentum's going away and you're trying to throw the ball back to the first baseman, and that's good range and a good job by Zobrist to throw a strike to Casey Kotchman.
Dustin Ackley. Ackley 2 for 4. And he did not check. It's a strike. Mike Everett down there says he went around.
Yep, just barely.
Takes the pitch down. 1-1. Rays in the bottom of the ninth will have Johnny Damon to lead off. Brandon League up in the bullpen now for Seattle. There's the strike at the knees. It's 1-2. And League has been very good. Strike three called. He's out of there. 1, 2, 3. Another perfect inning for Kyle Farnsworth out of the bullpen. It's a 7-7 game.
It's 7 if Rays pitchers strike out 10 batters in a home game like they did today. You can take your ticket stub to any Cane's Furniture store and get a coupon for a free Papa John's pizza. Plus, sign up at Cane's Furniture for a chance to meet one of your favorite Rays players. Cane's, quality so good, it's guaranteed for life.
Well, a 1, 2, 3 top of the ninth inning for Kyle Farnsworth. What else is new?
Exactly.
And here's Johnny Damon to open the bottom of the ninth. And the pitch swung on and a shot deep to right field. That ball might go. Gone! Home run by Johnny Damon. And the Rays win it. A walk-off home run by Damon. An 8-7 final. Cortez made one pitch in the bottom of the ninth, and Damon hits it out. Johnny Damon doubled home 3 runs in the 7th when he just missed a grand slam home run. He was at the plate in the 8th when what appeared to be a wild pitch that might give the Rays the lead turned out to be the 3rd out of the inning. And here in the bottom of the 9th on the first pitch, Damon hits it into the stands in right field. And he's going to give the Rays and Kyle Farnsworth a victory. In fact, it's the 2nd time this year that Damon has hit a walk-off home run in a game started by James Shields that results in a Kyle Farnsworth victory. And this one gives Farnsworth the win, 8-7.
Fastball, outer part of the plate, and Damon turned on it into the 3rd row, right by the Wade Boggs 3,000th hit home run. That was quite a way to end this one.
Farnsworth had a walk-off home run in the 10th inning back on the 14th of April when the Rays beat the Twins 4-3 here at Tropicana Field. He does it again today, giving Farnsworth and the Rays a victory over the Seattle Mariners by a count of 8-7. Let's go to the field and Angela.
Hey guys, yeah, Johnny Damon, you had the chance in the 7th, the chance in the 8th, and you pulled it out in the 9th.
Well, you know, That's all I'm worried about right now. We're trying to win ball games, and you know, we had the unfortunate incident in the 8th, but fortunately we didn't have to play too much longer, and I finally got that ball. I didn't quite get the other ball, I guess.
If you were going to make that call in the 8th, was he safe?
No, he was out.
And your thoughts on the ball that hit out in center field, just watching it go?
Well, I really didn't feel like I got it. I thought he was going to catch the ball, perhaps, but I guess I had some pretty good backspin, and you know, it worked out. We got 3 runs right there. We got back in the ball game, but I mean, we're playing good baseball. Hopefully, we can just continue.
And what does this mean for James Shields? Obviously, he doesn't get the win, but he was pounding himself. Whoa!
Oh boy! You set me up.
And here comes the pudding. Gosh, they couldn't do shaving cream when I'm here. You do look like a cartoon character now. Happy for James that you guys were able to get that win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, James battled, and he, you know, Willie Mopena is a strong man, as we saw that ball that he hit, but, you know, he competed. We gave up a lot of runs early on, but he stayed in there till the 8th for us, and you know, not one of his better starts. Hopefully he can work on what went wrong today and be better the next time.
Tastes good?
Yeah, actually it does.
Thanks a lot, Johnny Damon. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, I got a little on my arm there. All right, Johnny Damon, the walk-off winner. Guys, back to you.
Johnny Damon hits the home run, his 11th of the year, his 6th career walk-off homer. And the Rays sweep this series. An 8-7 final. The Rays winners over Seattle. We'll be back with more in a moment.